Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today for the Planning and Building Service Capacity for Successful Impact webinar. This is part one of a two-part webinar series on creating online training for successful transition from school to work for youth with autism. I'd like to introduce Paul Andrew from the ARPCT Membership Committee. Paul has a long history of program development, training, and partnership development in employment and community services that supports persons with disabilities. Paul, would you like to share some information and introduce today's presenter?
Well, thank you, Shelley, for putting together this program today. And it's going to be a pleasure to introduce May Lynn as our primary presenter today, and the other one coming up on November 18th. So let's give a little background right now to how these two sessions came about with the sponsorship of ARPCT and Skillsoft. As a real brief background for transitioning students with autism from secondary schools to colleges, from colleges and secondary schools to employment eventually. The background to this is a thanks again to not only what May Lynn is doing as well, but to other members of our organization. Juan Leon of the National Foundation for Autism Research in San Diego has been a leader in this area as well. And thanks to Bree Stewart of Autism Society of Tucson, as well as Intermountain, for the series of seminars they held on transitioning students with autism into the adult services world. I had the opportunity to sit in on those presentations with Bree and Intermountain and autism, and leaving school to other training and employment options. Frequently I heard from the parents in the crowd the following questions. What will become of my child? What can we do to prepare them for leaving high school or other advanced education? Are there community services support work experience and obtain access and living experiences? Will our child and family be able to adjust to the demands of adult schools and adult community living? Reflecting upon these many questions and so many others, oftentimes refrained by all the families of any sort, they're particularly troublesome worries to families with children with autism. So in response to these questions and a nationwide need and desire by people with autism, ARPCT and Skillsoft are proud to provide a customized online campus for people with autism, their families, and people who serve them. Let's just take a real quick minute before we go into May Lynn to talk about customized training and employment. This is a very unique and evolving method for developing training and developing jobs that are unique to the person. Rather than fitting the person, smashing them into that job, we're trying to design the training and trying to design the job that'll meet the needs of that individual. Let's talk about the four main elements of customized training and employment real quick. First of all, students who have a real passion for the keyboard, the computer screen, computer applications will probably appreciate this methodology. First element of customized employment and training is exploration of interests and capabilities by using the online library of Skillsoft through the ARPC portal. The second element of customized training is the creation of customized classes they can take online through the ARPCT portal through the Skillsoft extensive library. This, in many ways, matches their interests and capabilities with autism, leading to the third step, that those courses being completed and fulfilled can lead to a customized job, one that'll embrace interests, capabilities, and unique skills they've been picking up from the online courses from ARPCT. Finally, the fourth element of customized training and employment is recognition that learning is a lifetime event. And thanks to the wonderful and ongoing programs and the training modules from Skillsoft that you can access to ARPCT, one can not only get the job, but continue to learn skills for the rest of their life. So what we're going to have today, and in November 18th, thanks to May Lynn of DKA A&B Services, is a very practical approach for preparing that student with autism and has a passion for that keyboard and that computer screen to learn things online, to learn about their interests, and preparing to leave high school, how to design your organization to facilitate these kind of programs, with the ARPCT and Skillsoft, leading on to employment, advanced education, and a lifetime of learning. It's a real pleasure to bring Maylin forward to our presentation today. We are thankful for what she does, as we are thankful for the other presenters and members of our organization as well. So Maylin, thank you. We're going to turn it over to you, and we'll let you take it from here. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you so much for such an introduction. So I'm Maylin Ford, and I'm the president at DK A&B Services. Lexi Kunzelman is my compliance coordinator, and she predominantly runs all of our autism and transition student to work workshops. So she's going to navigate through because she would be able to best answer any Q&A that might come up. So we'll do it. It's fun.
Part 1, planning and building service capacity for a successful impact. Okay, so let's talk about some Skillsoft certifications and courseware that Skillsoft offers. Now, I'm sure we are all very familiar with Skillsoft, but these are the ones we utilize most with our population. So Communication Essentials is a great one, managing personal stress in the workplace, problem solving, leadership, Microsoft Office Suite, Adobe, Apple Swift, entrepreneurship, IC3 digital literacy, EC Council, and Autodesk are our most used with our population. Okay, how can Skillsoft be utilized with by individuals with autism? So Skillsoft is a self-paced, web-based learning platform offering a variety of course topics to learn. Courseware that could be particularly useful to individuals with autism include communication skills, leadership skills, and problem-solving skills. These are important for these individuals because in order to get into the workplace, from transition from school to work, they need to be able to properly communicate. They need to be able to lead. They need to be able to problem solve in their workplace in the capacity that they can. And courseware can be customized to meet the learning styles and preferences of the individuals. There are available tests per courseware to measure retention of knowledge and information learned. So there are tests in the courseware that these people take so that the knowledge is tested throughout participants. And then visual learning through videos and tutorials is also offered. So there are courses, there are videos, and there are resources tabs in Skillsoft that participants can utilize as well. We find it very helpful because participants can continuously take the course over and over and over again until they feel they can entirely complete it on their own. We also really push for an 80% score on a course if they want to continue on. So they need to at least get an 80% in order to move on to a different course so that we know they're retaining the information. We know that they're learning it. And then if they can't get through that, then we switch over to a different video or something else to help them learn. We haven't had many youth not be able to get through this courseware. For them, it has been very easy to navigate the Skillsoft platform, and it has been very easy for them to access this courseware. When we go through it with them and we show them how to access the website and find the courseware that's assigned to them, or how to find specific courseware assigned to them, we haven't had too many questions from our participants. The customization keeps them very engaged. There are reports you can run in Skillsoft to see all the different courses that each participant has completed. You can see how long it took for them to take the course, what score they passed with, and how many times they took the course as well in a report.
So beneficial.
Yeah, even if they don't get a certification with the Skillsoft courses that they do, it is so beneficial for these individuals to at least be able to know where they're at in these different categories. So it's like an assessment to see where they're at, and they can transfer these hours that they've completed onto a resume when they go to search for a job as well.
From different ages, it's just a different If you take it at 15 years old versus when you take it at 19 years old, you can really see how much you've improved and how Skillsoft is a caveat to help you learn and retain in a manner that is beneficial to the person with autism, to the participant.
So some community supports and resources that we wanted to point out are Chicanos por la Casa, Partners in Recovery, Arizona at Work, and Vocational Rehabilitation. Yeah, these are some agencies that we use Skillsoft with currently. Okay, how to connect students when they need interactive learning. So, of course, Skillsoft is a very interactive web platform. Excuse me. The platform is very interactive, but of course we do have individuals that need a written workbook or a different style of learning in the platform. So we a lot of the time use the Arizona Career Readiness Credential in conjunction with Skillsoft to provide more hands-on material for our individuals instead of just the web page. So
these are more soft skills too.
yes, these are more soft skills as well. So really what I wanted to point out here is the ACRC provides a certificate where it's applied mathematics, reading for information, workplace data and graphics, communication, professionalism, and critical thinking and problem solving. It's locating information. Yeah, so workplace data and graphics is actually seen as locating information in the actual ACRC webpage, but it is workplace data and graphics. That's what it nails down to. So yeah, it measures navigation ability in the workplace. So let's say you have an individual walking around the workplace and there's signs everywhere telling them how to the fire codes and different policies and procedures that they have to follow. Well, if they don't know how to read the sign, how are they supposed to figure out what to do? So this kind of helps them, right? So this kind of shows them how to be able to read these different signs in the workplace and what they're looking for when they are looking at the signs in the workplace. And then the ACRC also has printable workbooks on their webpage as well. So if you go to their resources tab, they do have printable workbooks on each different topic. And I really love using these workbooks with our participants because the workbook is more in a story mode. So it takes you through with this little animation character on the pages, and he talks to you and explains the different steps that you need to complete. I think it's wonderful, and our individuals really find it fun to learn in this way.
Of where our participants are going to go in Skillsoft. So if they're able to navigate really well, they'll have to say that. Then so what we apply from ACRC is we're able to identify more the participant where they'll start in Skillsoft. So you're going to gain an idea of their applied mathematics, how they navigate, how they perceive things visually, so that we're not starting, you know, in a Skillsoft self-paced learning that's too far advanced. When you're going to customize, if you do ACRC prior to your customization in Skillsoft, you're going to obtain a more realistic curriculum. Is that right? An easier and more efficient curriculum for the participant to be able to navigate and follow through.
Exactly. Skills that should be taught in schools right now. So soft skills should absolutely be taught during high school or within a program in a high school. This definitely needs to be talked about more within the school districts and with our individuals. So emotional intelligence, being a team player, having the mindset to grow, having the openness to feedback, being adaptable, and actively listening, having a good work ethic, and professionalism. So these are all soft skills that our students should be learning in high school right now. Whether that's in conjunction with a math course or a science course or
all those soft skills would still
classes, these soft skills should still apply to their curriculums. Teachers should be teaching this along with their curriculums. or there should be a class or program or something that goes over this with these kids.
And we are starting to see it in the school districts, especially emotional intelligence has now become something that's a requirement in the high schools.
And then employability skills should be taught as well. So communication skills, perseverance, organization, leadership, ability to work under pressure, and problem solving. So Skillsoft and the ACRC go over all of these different things. They really work hand in hand to tackle all these different topics that our students should be exiting high school knowing how to do. Okay, so the badges on ACRC, how the ACRC works is the individual either can just take the certification or they can walk through and take a pre-test, do courseware, and then take a post-test and then get the certification. So there's actually different levels in each course that the individual should be learning before they go and take their certification. Now, it's up to the proctor or it's up to the person who's helping this individual complete this, whether or not you want them to take the pre-test or complete the courseware or take the post-test. But from what we've done, we have them take the pre-test to see where they're at in the ACRC, then link them back over to Skillsoft to support that knowledge in the ACRC. Yeah, or if there's a challenge, we're going to support it through Skillsoft. So at the end of the ACRC, when they do get a certification for the professional skills, this is a pass or fail on the certificate. So you have to get a 75% or a 70% to pass this certification and be able to get the certificate. For the other skills like applied mathematics, locating information, and reading for information, there are different tiers that they can hit. So the different tiers are level 1 and level 2. If you reach those scores, you cannot move to get a certificate. You have to at least reach a level 3 in the ACRC to get a certificate in that area. So you can still get one in professional skills, but you cannot get one in applied math, reading for information, or locating information. So the levels go like this. Level 3, you would get a bronze certificate. Level 4, you would get a silver certificate. Level 5, you would get a gold certificate, and level 6 and 7 would be a platinum certificate. What this is supposed to do is bronze, the different levels for bronze, silver, gold, and platinum are supposed to help you find out what career field they're able to go in. So the platinum would be like the doctors, the lawyers, the ones who really need to go to school for a very long time to get into a career path. The bronze level would be more like customer service, retail associate, food service, etc. So it kind of puts them in an area where you can see where they should be going in their career path. Yes, and then Skillsoft will attach the curriculum and the courseware to support that.
Ongoing.
Okay, how do we help students adjust to demands? We encourage them to maintain a consistent schedule whenever possible. When demands are increasing in the individual's work and school life, we try to decrease demands in their home life. And if they're seeing an increase in study time, the amount of chores or responsibility you give them at home should decrease. So let's make it a balanced life for these individuals. If they are studying like crazy and they need to spend 20 out of their 24 hours of their day doing studying, then let's not give them chores, let's allow them sleep. So that's kind of where the balance is. Let's make sure that their life stays balanced so that they can continue. Yes, and they need to understand a priority as well. So what would the priority be? Doing your homework or getting your chores done, etc. We also need to practice de-escalation techniques so the individual can navigate stressful situations. And we need to give it time. Individuals with special needs often need more time to adjust to different situations. So it all depends on their comfortability, you think they need, if they're able to voice their needs, everything like that. It all depends. Which is why Skillsoft is so amazing, because it's so customized with autism. Okay, so here's some tips to teach students how to be prepared. So we need to have all the supplies they need before they start studying. Supplies could be notebook, pencil, pen, calculator. Let's make sure they have their own space to work. They shouldn't be in a crowded room with noise. They should be allowed to have their own little space or make a space for them to study alone. Is the desk or table clean? All the stuff on their desk could probably be a distraction to what they're learning. So remove everything off the desk, make sure they're only focusing on what they're learning. If water is allowed, do they have a closed top of water? So is their water bottle closed sitting on their desk? You don't want an accident to happen, so you don't want the water to fall all over their homework they just took 6 hours to do. You want to make sure that you stay responsible and help them stay responsible as well. And once again, are there too many people around? Let's try to keep them in a quiet space so they can study as well. Okay, so let's use and organize. So let's use a planner or print a task. Let's use a calendar, let's use a list, let's use something to help them be able to visually see, here's what I have to do, and here's what I've already done. Any way they do that is fine. Personalized planners are a great way to go to fit their personalities. So sometimes if you meet with them and you say, okay, let's make this planner the place that you're going to put everything you need to do. Well, why would they use a blank planner that's just gray and plain and they have no motivation to just open this plain, simple planner? Well, let's make a 2-hour day out of it and let's color it, let's put glitter all over it, let's put motivational quotes all over it, put your favorite team, put your favorite TV show, let's make it something that they're excited to look at and excited to use, something that they want to keep and not just throw in the trash. We need them to stay organized as well, so keeping papers in individual sections or folders or putting an assigned spot for them to put their assignments. So if you have a huge desk and they're just setting their assignments all over their desk, well, now they're going to have more stress and more anxiety trying to find that one simple homework assignment that they completed when they could have just put it in a simple folder, and now they can just go look back at it. Instead, they're trying to scram through all their papers and try to find it, and now what if they can't find it? Now they have the whole assignment all over again, and now they're going to feel unmotivated to complete the assignment. So establishing a routine is key. How to help them study for tests. So should they study alone or with a group? Well, it kind of depends on the person. It depends on the individual. A lot of individuals are very social, while others could be very reserved and only want to study by themselves. So it's really up to the individual what they should be doing. If there's someone who gets confused when there's chaos or they can't stand the amount of noise that's in the room or they need a quieter place to study, they should definitely be studying on their own. Now, when they are able to study in a group, they're able to talk to each other. They are able to balance and bounce ideas off of each other instead of just sticking to their one idea. It opens them up to new ideas from others. So maybe this could be a parent, someone who understands, instead of just other children involved. It could be a parent or a mentor or a guardian that helps them do this. If there's a social learner, someone who likes to discuss ideas with others, that would be perfect for them. Now, if it's just someone by themselves, you could make some kind of brainstorming sheet for the individual to do, so it almost acts like they are talking to different individuals, but they aren't. So this starts to help them put their mind map on paper so they can see how they're thinking, how they're problem solving, what their ideas are coming up with. Instead of it just being discussed and talked about, now it's put on a piece of paper and they can visually see it. Okay, how are they going to study? So determine what they're studying for. Is it a written test? Is it a multiple choice test? Is it a quiz? Let's find out. So let's put them on a schedule like it's a job. So let's make a routine out of it. So for the first hour, let's gather all the resources you need to study. The next hour, let's go through and skim through all the things that you already know and then tackle the things that you don't know. Then the next hour, let's make flashcards. Next hour, let's do the practice tests. Next hour, let's do this. You see where I'm going with that? So let's just routine it. Let's make scheduled times for them to complete things by, so that they understand the routine and time management at the same time. Cutting out distractions is also very important. So turning off their cell phones, or if mom or dad wants to be in the room or anyone else in the room, let's make sure they turn off their cell phones as well, for respect for their child. When individuals see older mentors or parents or figures that aren't turning off their phones or showing the same respect, they sometimes don't see why they should be doing it. So it's like mimicking. If I see her doing it, I'm going to want to do it. For multiple choice exams, let's ask the teacher or instructor if a practice test is available. Practice tests are amazing. Let's make sure that we look at those. When all answer questions are correct, let's add them to note cards. If there is no practice test, we can make one from notes, study lists and highlighted words, and use the notes, highlighted items, and definitions to make flashcards, and then test yourself. So as you can see, the kind of key that keeps going through this is visual learning, participation, hands-on learning. That is what is going to get individuals to continuously participate and learn at a rapid pace.
And you do that virtually, because we can share screens and we can check in with Skillsoft. That it's really, you're able to really engage the youth and the participants through their study practices.
So screen sharing is a great way to do things as well.
Well, and in Skillsoft, everything is timestamped, so you can see how long they were in any of those tutorials. You can see, you know, where they were struggling. So if they have a difficult time telling you their challenges, you can view in and you can walk through it with them and say, well, I see that it took you 4 minutes, or it took you 14 minutes in an area that maybe should have took an average of 4. Let's walk through that and see, how do we improve and how do we, you know, get those scores up, for especially when you have to get 80% in certain areas.
Okay. GREEN. This is an acronym. For individuals with autism, acronyms are a wonderful way to do it. Using colors and color coding is another great way. So this acronym stands for Get Organized, Read, Early Preparation, Exam Practice, and Note Cards. So I'm just going to read through it so you guys can see. Get organized is picking the place you will study at, getting all your supplies together, making sure the lighting is comfortable, you don't have any noise, etc. Then you read your notes, highlight the areas in the text, and other resources related. Then there's early preparation. Start studying small amounts, and then you won't be overwhelmed everything that you study at the last minute. So like I stated before, if we schedule out how they should be studying during their day, this would stop the overwhelming emotions when it comes time for studying for a test. If you block it out into several days too, that also entirely helps with the situation. So instead of just having it all crammed in a day and you're doing, okay, 7 to 8 a.m. is this, 8 to 9 a.m. is this, let's break it up into 2 separate days so that they do have a break and then they come back to it. And then maybe you do have to cover a couple things from the first day again, but now they're going to retain that information even better on the second day. Then practicing. Asking the teacher or instructor for a practice test, and then asking who, what, when, where, and why when they answer questions. Making flashcards or note cards is also wonderful. There's obviously multiple different ways to make study cards or different flashcards. You can use pictures to help with this as well. So those are just some different things to think about. Let's talk about tricks for studying math. So math is obviously something that all high schoolers or all teens struggle with to learn. So especially with individuals with autism, this is a truly important thing to hit when we're talking about how do we get them to learn math in an easier way. So what quantity is the problem asking you to solve? What skills or procedures or formulas can be used to solve the problem? Let's break it down into smaller steps for the individual and help them figure out what the main parts of the problem are and identify them. So they shouldn't be doing this on their own. They should be getting help from you or someone else to help them figure this out. So it's like highlighting keywords and phrases. Let's take away all the nonsense on the edge and let's only focus on that main part. So another method would be drawing a picture or a diagram, making a list of steps needed to complete, working the problem backwards, and then rewriting the problem from the beginning, trying to reason it out, and practicing problems of the same type, or talking through the problem with a friend or classmate. Okay, one of the most important things that I think I've touched on multiple times is making sure the student has ample time to do things. Remember that everyone's different, and something that works for one person may not work for another person. So
But rushing works for no people.
rushing through it works for no one. Everyone needs a certain amount of time to complete a task. So let's work with the individual and figure out what that time is for them. How much time do they need? This can also be seen on Skillsoft once again. So it tells you how many hours and minutes it takes for them to complete a certain courseware. You can average that out and figure out roughly how much time it takes for them to complete each courseware. And then remembering to create your own system that works. The important thing is to help and develop study habits that work for them. So we always need to consistently be talking to the individual. Is this working for you? How else can I help you in this area? What can we do to work together? Then remembering to communicate. So once again, communication is one of the biggest things that we need to be working on with these individuals. They need to be able to communicate their feelings, their opinions, what they want in life. They need to be able to communicate their needs to us so that we're able to help them. And if they're not able to communicate to just you or their sole guardian or mentor, how are they going to be able to communicate in the workplace? How are they able to communicate in college? What are they going to do in life after high school if they're struggling to communicate their needs? And then reminding them how amazing they are throughout this entire process. They need consistent motivation, rewards, constantly. It doesn't matter how you do a reward, but even getting through a course on Skillsoft is a reward in itself, or getting a badge on the HCRC is a reward. And even just giving them a little sticker that says, great job, you did it, or anything that you wanted to do with them, making a little poster board or whatever you want to do. It is a reward, and they should be given a reward for everything that they do. So let's talk a little bit about homework for these students as well. So planning time. Once again, they need ample time to complete their duties or tasks or however you want to word that. Let's regroup with them constantly throughout the process. Let's help them de-stress. Let's help them manage their emotions throughout the process. If they're getting overwhelmed or becoming anxious about the project, let's take a step back from it and possibly work on something else during that time. And then let's come back to it later. There's no reason to continue when the individual is obviously becoming overwhelmed or becoming stressed. Why would I continue to push that individual till their breaking point? There's no reason to do it. That becomes unmotivating and unproductive. So we want them to feel motivated and productive throughout the entire time. So once again, motivation. Even self-motivation is okay. So if sometimes we'll say, what do you think will motivate you? And they'll go, I want 10 minutes of TV between this and this. Done. If whatever they think is going to work for them to motivate them, let's work together and figure that out so that they can remain motivated. Yeah, and if it doesn't work for them, try it and get rid of it quickly, because if it's not a motivating factor for the individual, it's not going to work. So you got to find one that works for the individual. And then once again, even having some exercise while doing this, if they just need to take a break from seeing it or looking at it or reading it, get up from the desk. Let's go walk around. Let's go walk outside. How can we relate this courseware or what we're learning to the tree that I'm looking at outside? Let's find a way to make this more interactive for these individuals.
Yeah, and the tree is like something so like not employability. So like there's no danger in it. Like it's something very easy to use.
Okay, so these are about ARPCT. So
Go through them.
yeah, do
All
you,
the
Shelley, do you want
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Lexi and Maylin, did you want to see if there were any questions
Yes.
from attendees?
Any questions at all?
I think Cindy Lennon is trying to talk, but we're not hearing her.
Is the
There we go.
ACRP or whatever that
ACR.
courseware, is that available on the web for everyone, or is that just for use for certain individuals?
So the ACRC does have a specific link to the website. You can sign up online through the website, or you can sign up through an organization like us. So there's no just platform that you can go into and start working on. You have to sign up.
Can it be used by people outside of your state?
Outside of the state, no, because it is the Arizona Career Readiness Credential, so it's not a national career readiness credential. It is only used in the state.
I think we might have something like that too.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, it sounded pretty cool. Any other questions? I'm not seeing anything come in from chat. Okay, well, again, thank you, Lexi and Maylin, for that
Thank you,
wonderful
everybody.
presentation. That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who's joined today, too. We hope that you found the webinar to be informative. Part 2 of this webinar series will be on November 18th. You can go to arpct.org/webinars for details, and an add to calendar button is available on the website as well. Lexi, do you mind go ahead and advancing to the next slide for me? Thank you. So Maylin spoke about how her company uses Skillsoft certification and courseware, and how it's been pivotal in helping students with autism train for transition from school to work. As a member of ARPCT, A&B Services has unlimited use of high quality Skillsoft content for an affordable price. If you're not a member already, you can become a member or renew your membership at arpct.org/members. And Paul, would you like to conclude today's webinar?
Thank you very much, Lexi and Maylin. Excellent work. It's a good start for us about all the amazing content that comes out of Skillsoft. We do want to remind everyone that if you are members, to kind of look at us as kind of a resource for you in this particular area of autism, transitioning from school. Finally, if those of you are new, or if you have someone in your community that would like to try this out, please get a hold of us. I believe we have one more slide where you can connect with us. Can we advance that to the last piece there? Any questions? Lexi or Maylin Ford, they're at A&B Services. Bob Lenaway is our paid membership. And if you'd like to have some more details about the ARPCT EdU relationship to Skillsoft, and how you can do a trial membership to explore how this might be a service to your students or sons or daughters, connect with me as well. There's my email address, and I look forward to hearing from you. Be glad to talk with you and see what else I can answer for you along the way. So once again, thank you so much, folks, for participating today. Maylin and Lexi, thank you for your presentation, and Shelley as well for putting this together for us. I'll turn it back to you.
Great. Well, I wanted to also put in there that this has been recorded, and it will be available on the ARPCT webinars page as soon as it is done and loaded. There'll be a notice put out for that. So for anyone who might have been interested but missed it, they can access it on the website.
Thank you.
Great. Well, if that's it for questions, then we'll go ahead and conclude the webinar, and hope everyone has a great rest of the day and rest of the week.
Thank you again.
Have a good day. Thank you again.
Bye.
Thank you,
all.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.